What is up, sister friend? Welcome to another amazing episode of Heart to Heart. I am your coach. Yeah, I'm your coach. I could be your coach. I am your host, Coach Emily. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. It feels like a millennia ago, but I really loved recording last week's episode. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, please make sure that you do. Can you guys believe that we are halfway through February? Unreal. And the day this podcast comes out, it is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you. I hope you all are celebrating your love, celebrating just love in general. Maybe you have a partner or maybe a little secret Valentine that you're going to be sharing it with today. And I hope that that goes beautifully. If you are on my email list, I talked a little bit about self-love and how Valentine's Day and celebrating love is I think it's beautiful. I do. I really think it's beautiful. And I think it's a cool opportunity for us to reconnect with just love in general. Some of us have been really hurt by love. Some of us are scared of love. Some of us push it away or have a super small version of it. And I just like, what if we fully embrace love? And what if we came from a place of love at all times? Like, what would our lives look like? And how would we see ourselves differently? We talk to our fitness clients all the time about loving themselves. And I think it's a daily practice. Isn't it so interesting that as a human being, we have to practice love, that we have to actively engage with love, that it doesn't just, it comes naturally when you're a child and then it dissipates as we get older because of conditioning and fear and all of these things. That it's something that we actually have to reconnect with. Like, what a crazy experience being a human being, that when you're a child, you're this like raw light, just living, just making it happen. And then life tries to mold you and form you into something else. I just think it's this constant flow of the human experience and resistance that we experience that is just so wild if you just think about it from like a broader perspective, that you actually, as you get older, have to try to reconnect with your younger self. So crazy. And then you love other people and you're trying to understand how to love them best. And some of us can really struggle with loving ourselves best, and we only know how to love other people. But then it's, do you even know how to love other people, right? If you don't love yourself, right? It's just, the human experience is so complex. And since it's the day all about love, it's also today, I also want to mention, so today, February 14th, is the day that my grandmother passed away. My granny passed away. And her name was Rosemary, and she went by the name Rose. And I found it so beautiful that she passed away on a day all about roses, and how I get to remember her every Valentine's Day when I see all the beautiful red roses. And I love red roses. I am cliche like that. I love roses. I love roses so much. Every color. I love the way they feel. I have this weird urge to put them in my mouth. Every time I rub them all over my face. I love roses. And at my wedding, we had white roses in my bouquet. We had roses out in memoriam for my beautiful granny. And so just thinking about her today, and loved her so much. I wish I knew her human design. She was a force to be reckoned with. She was the epitome of tough and soft all at the same time. Someone who grew up very, very poor, who had 5 kids. 3 of them were triplets. So my dad is a triplet, and my granny grew up a single mom with 5 kids. And nothing's perfect, but it's just like, so her life was just so crazy. And she ended up, I would bet she's a manifesting generator. I would bet. But she traveled and went and she grew up with 6 kids, or 6 siblings. So just crazy story. Anyway, I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but I just want to remember my beautiful granny today because she was so wonderful. She did stained glass and she painted beautiful paintings and did sculptures, and she was such an artist, and she worked so hard, and she made the best food and the best cookies ever. She was like the epitome of a grandma. So I miss you, Granny. Love you so much. And since today is Valentine's Day, I wanted us to talk about partners and human design and what that looks like. Now, I can't go through, this would be a very long podcast if I went through each combination, but I'm going to tell you how to love each energy type best. And so if you don't know your energy type in human design, go ahead and check it out. Go to jovianarchive.com, JOVIAN archive. You do need to know your exact time of birth because it does affect it. And if you don't know your exact time of birth, call your mom. If that's not an option, you can guesstimate as best you can and play around with different numbers and see how much it changes. Sometimes it changes a lot within 10 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't change at all. So do with that what you will. The exact time is best. And your energy type, if you guys don't remember this, your energy type is your aura. It's the energy that other people are experiencing from you. It is the energy that you're putting out into the world. It's how people interact with you. It's how people perceive you subconsciously. It is also your battery pack. It's the amount of energy that you have to give each day. And each energy type is different. And so this may also be helpful for you to love yourself more. I truly believe that love starts with acceptance and trust. And when we fully accept who we are, that love pours in, just like you just like fully accept the way your cat is or dog is, right? You just love it no matter what. Like Binks is a pain in my ass, but he's also perfect, right? Like I love him to death. And, you know, my partner, Austin, my husband, I love him and he has flaws and he loves me and I have flaws. That acceptance that I see the light in you and I love every flame that it holds. And so when loving each energy type, this is from my perception of each energy type. So do with this what you will. But I think it's really important to use this to love each other better, to love each other more on a day all about love. Don't we love love? I just love it's so great. Okay. So who should we start with? Who do we want to start with? I'm going to start with reflectors. Okay. Reflectors. Okay. So how to love a reflector best. You can love a reflector best by understanding that they need a lot of time. You can love a reflector best by giving them space to process how they feel, what they're thinking, how they make decisions. You can also love them by respecting their alone time and knowing that it is nothing against you. It is just they need that time. You can also love a reflector by understanding that they're super rare and they're not going to be like you. And they're always changing a little bit, right? That chameleon that is the reflector. And you can really love them by understanding that they need fun. They need spontaneity. They need to play. They need to experience. That's going to help them. And you can support them in following those passions and really understanding that they feel a lot and that they need time. They just need lots of time. Oh, and don't put them in a box. No boxes. You can love a reflector by letting them free, letting them flow. Don't try to confine them by anything. Conditioning already tries to do that enough. So you can love a reflector by giving them that space. And I think it's really that simple for a reflector. They really need time. They really need like just the space to feel their energy and in its totality. And so they can really struggle with moving through that. Also, caring for yourself is caring for a reflector. So if you are taking care of you, that helps the reflector with their energy move more freely. And also help them find spaces that they can be at ease. Their environment plays a huge role in their energy. And so creating environments with people, places, your living room can be really, really helpful. You can kind of like speak their love language by creating a space that makes the reflector feel seen and heard. Really cherish their perspective and create opportunities for them to share it with you. They want to share, they just need the space to do so. And they change from day to day. Remember that, and just kind of go with it and embrace each version with curiosity. And definitely don't rush them. I mentioned that. Okay. So that's super important for a reflector. For my manifestors, I could see how being with a manifestor, you may butt heads because they're doing what they want to do, right? And so like they are strong, they are power, right? And you can love them by being transformed by their connection and know how sacred it is to be in their energy, right? Give them freedom and support and respect their space and their flow, right? So manifestors, remember, they're like the cheetahs. They have impulsive energy, and so they need to be able to go and do the things they want to do and then retreat. So it's important that you give them the space to retreat, and don't always let them lead all the time, right? When they're going into that retreat space, if they've given up all their energy to something they're working on, you now lead. You take the lead of like while they're resting, right? They don't have the energy to lead right now. You take that on. Make sure you communicate clearly with them. They value communication because they naturally communicate. And so, because their strategy is to inform. And so you want to also be very good at communicating, because if not, it's not going to be a great, like they're not going to feel seen, heard, and loved the way that they need to. And so, giving them their time to rejuvenate. You can really love them by creating those spaces for them too, and prioritizing their recovery and their rest, showing them that you care about them and you love them. And understand too that they need reminders. Just because they're a leader all the time, just because they're constantly going and doing, they forget, and people are repelled by them. There's the people who are really, they have this positive and negative, right? They have people who are like dead, this is my person, I'm following her wherever she goes. And then there's people that are repelled by manifestors. And so if you want to love a manifestor more, encourage them, validate them, let them know what they're doing is impactful, let them know what they're doing is correct, because they can question themselves sometimes. And manifestors could really benefit from someone who is constantly reinforcing the decisions they want to make, right? In a world where being too bold and not following the conventional path is like looked down on, validating that manifestor is going to do a lot of good. Now for our manifesting generators, my little unicorns. So let them prioritize their joy, help them prioritize their joy, because when they are in joy, when they are living their life in alignment, they spread light like wildfire. And so you being that person can make a big difference. Okay. For my Sarah J. Maas girlies out there, I believe Aylin in Throne of Glass, Aylin Galathanias is a manifester because she's just a queen. She's naturally meant to lead, but I can see her as possibly being also a manifesting generator. So if you've listened, or if you listened or watched, you can't listen or watch. I mean, you could listen to the audiobook, but if you read Throne of Glass, how Rowan lets Aylin do her thing, shine bright, spread fire, do what she needs to do. That's how you love a manifesting generator. She is driven by her passions, her gut, what she knows is best. That's how manifesting generators operate, right? And so it doesn't always make sense to everybody else why the manifesting generator is doing what they're doing, but it doesn't have to. You as their partner, you can love them by saying, you go for it, babe. Chase it, go for it. Doesn't have to make sense. Like, give them that reinforcement, because they already are making themselves feel like they're crazy because the world makes them feel like they're crazy, right? And so really accept their rhythms and their quick movements and be on the ride with them, right? Know that it doesn't always have to look perfect, and that they just need to experiment and they need to move on things. And so don't put them in a box as well. Just like a reflector, no boxes. Okay, let them free, let them flow. And then just help them by lightening the load on the less appealing tasks. So for example, I'm a projector and Austin is a manifesting generator, which, what a combo, because we have very different energy types. Projectors have inconsistent energy. Manifesting generators are like Sonic the Hedgehog. And so I'm like a firefly. My light's on sometimes and it's off some other times. I never know when and I never know why. And the manifesting generator is like, go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And this and that and here and there. And the best way that I know how to love Austin is I keep track of all the mundane tasks. I keep track of things that he may forget because his passions are lighting him up. And he's going from this thing to that thing to that thing. And accepting the quickness of those movements is super important in loving a manifesting generator, because they need to know that there's not something wrong with them, that they are actually operating the way that they're supposed to. So from manifesting generator to projector, the best way to love a projector is really letting a projector know that they are truly seen by you. Okay. Understand that you have different perspectives and you're not going to always be alike. If you're not a projector, like if you're any of the other energy types with a projector, but it's great to question them, ask them tons of questions to understand them, to discover more about who they are and what makes them excited in life. So be prepared with a projector having a super deep bond, because projectors like to go deep with that penetrating energy type. They want to go deep. They want to know all the things. They want to be like really bonded. And they're highly sensitive and they're constantly observing and feeling. So being aware of that and reassuring them can be really, really helpful, and really showing them that you value their insights and what they feel by asking them questions and engaging in that conversation, because they may not always share it with you. Also, you can't expect them to be on all the time. That's just not how they operate. And so giving them space to relax. So for example, like Austin being a manifesting generator and myself being a projector, Austin is always on. And so we have the, like, I have had to learn how to communicate, like, hey, I cannot. That is not happening today. Like, I don't have it in me. Can that wait till Sunday? And Austin also being like very respectful of like, hey, what feels doable for you today? Are you in a space to like, for example, the other night we wanted to book all of our camping trips. I was like, I don't have the capacity to do that tonight. Right. And so respecting that and pivoting is so important. They also, projectors need a lot of solitude and rest, similar to a reflector. So giving them that alone time and knowing that it has nothing to do with you, that their alone time is how they get their energy back up. And just prioritize one-on-one time with a projector. They have that penetrating aura, remember, so they love that one-on-one time. They want to be on that one-on-one. They prefer it, actually. And just offer a ton of affirmations to the projector. It makes a huge, huge difference. Okay. And then last but not least, did I get everybody? Yeah, generator. Okay. So generators are big, juicy balls of love. Make sure that you're encouraging them to follow the things that give them joy, because they can lose sight of that sometimes. But because they're so capable of all the things and they have a tendency to people please, take intentional action to help them out and take things off their plate. And always just to check in to make sure like they have the energy for something before you expect them to have the energy for something, because they need to use their gut to kind of decide which way to go. Also ask them a ton of questions, right? And that way that you can get to know them, but it helps them get to know themselves too by answering those questions and learning what sounds true for them. Really make sure you support them in following their gut, right? Hell yeses or hell nos are the generator's bread and butter. And so you can support them in that by encouraging them, like, hey, what does your gut tell you? Like, what are you leaning towards? What do you feel is the best thing? Something my dad used to always say is like, what does your heart say? Right. And so this can help a generator like make the decisions that feel good and feel equally supported by you, which helps them feel love. And then you can really show them love by doing things with them they adore. And then just relieve them of any tasks that dampen their spirit, that that really just aren't that meaningful to them, and can really bring them down, because they're here to create and to lift. And so you can help love them by giving them that space towards those things, by taking things off of their plate. And so no matter what your energy type, understanding the other energy types is super important because you interact with these people all the time. So even if it's not in a romantic way, like if you have a friend, like these are ways that you can support them and love them. And by loving each other better, we all like help the collective, right? By us working on ourselves and loving each other in a way that makes the most sense for that energy type, we help the world get better because I mean, one healed person helps another person heal, helps another person heal. And so by loving each other correctly, we can really speed that up. So I hope you guys found this helpful and interesting and fun. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if what your energy type is. I would love to know, and what your partner is. I'd love to give you like a little, oh, try this and try this. That is so fun. I've never done a couples human design reading, but that would be kind of a blast. So maybe anybody wants to be a guinea pig for that. But yeah, let me make sure you share this with your sister friends. Make sure you, if you listen to this today, I would love to see it shared on your story. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.